Hey, Team Crown. It's Kevin Smith. I'm here with two of my longest friends and buddies here, co-founders of Carolina Crown, along with some other people too, but this was kind of the three amigos in those early days. But anyway, we wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the things that happened along the way in getting the organization started, and then obviously getting the core started, because we actually started the organization in 1988, and there was no core then, but we were kind of, I call it kind of a fraternal organization. It was a group of drum corps enthusiasts, band geeks, whatever, that got together at the Holiday Inn Woodlawn or some other restaurant.
That's right.
In Charlotte, and had meetings to discuss drum corps and plan things for the future and all of that kind of stuff. So that's pre-Crown, the core, but that's how we kind of got it started.
The official name of the group was the Charlotte Drum Corps Association, and as that kind of fraternal group and just a group of interested people, we started doing newsletters and things.
We're going to run 2 drum corps shows that first summer.
First year. 6
months later, it was like crazy. One of them basically, lost some money or whatever. Didn't had some people in the stands, but it wasn't really a money generator. And then we had the first night beat, which Doug was the master of night beat for years and years and years. But when we paid all the bills that year out of the money we had from night beat, we still had one bill left. So the three of us went to, and the bill was the stadium. And the three of us went to this guy, Marvin Billups, who is the head of the Parks and Recreation that operated the stadium. And Doug set up a meeting with him. And as Doug would say, our knees were knocking because we were
because we couldn't really pay that bill.
Yeah.
It was $1,200 something like that.
I don't know how much.
Times were tight.
Left.
It was tough.
Well, we didn't have it.
Yeah, we didn't have it. And that was, probably our first big break. Like Bill said, Marvin, by the time we got done pleading our case, telling him about what we wanted to do here in the future and bringing drum corps to the city and a youth development type of organization and all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
he kind of said, well, not only forget about the bill, but like Bill said, I'm going to sponsor you.
Yeah, going forward.
And give you the
don't worry
stadium
about the bill next time either.
for free. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Kind of thing. And it lasted a lot of years.
It did.
Yeah, it's just kind of how it's always been a very blessed, fortunate scenario that we've had at Crown. And then Marvin Billups is a good example. Another example, and I did have a piece of paper with this one, when we were trying to actually outfit the corps, when we were going to start a corps, we're going to start something, a drum line, something or other. And we had bought some used drums from the Florida Wave, sight unseen. We're going to buy these drums.
They were in good condition.
Good condition. So when they showed up and we opened the boxes up, it was kind of heartbreaking that we wasted money on this box of busted drums. They were of no use to us. Well, I think Doug, you might have had a friendship, or maybe it was Kevin, with a guy by the name of John Cummings at Ludwig. And Ludwig is actually located not too far from where we were operating from, in Monroe, North Carolina at the time. And we asked them if they'd help us out, maybe to help refurbish the drums.
Then somehow or another we got them over to Ludwig, and they came back, and we were just flabbergasted. They looked like new. They steadfastly said
For years.
well, they said they were refurbished.
They essentially gave us brand new drums, and that allowed us to really kind of get a performing group going. I think just to get the whole idea of the core.
The way I remember it, you guys might remember it a little different, but the way I remember it is nobody came up with that exact name, Carolina Crown. We had pieces of it. It was close, but anyway.
Yeah, we wanted to, have it tied to the Charlotte area, but not to exclude people from outside that area. So, the Queen City, Charlotte,
Right.
Crown.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of how it came about. Luann Bielecki does take credit for it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, which and I'm not going to argue. It's very possible.
Right.
And you know, I had made a bullet list of things that what was kind of foundational to our success. And first one was dedicated volunteers. Second one was talented staff, and we started that with 100% volunteer. I mean, everybody was a volunteer. There was no one that was paying anything, you know, back in those days. But it's an interesting, you know, and again, the original org chart for Carolina Crown. Show it to the camera. But there you go. Interim director. Interim. Been interim director for 3 decades, right? Basically. But some of the names on here of folks that really ought to be mentioned here. Fred Paulette. He was the equipment manager. Tom Corkhill, right? Facilities manager. Tour manager. Vacant. I don't remember Vacant that well.
Yeah, that ended up being Greg Lowe, actually.
There you
yeah.
go. The program director was Don Flewell. Cecil Adderley on visual. Brass, Van Matthews. That's another story, how we got the first set of horns, right?
Yeah.
That was
We'll
going to
get
be
to
the next
that.
one I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Register on percussion. Vince Thomas, Sean Bethea on guard, and Cecil Adderley on marching.
You know, we're starting this organization. We had no money or anything else, and the only way we could pull it off was if we got these guys to agree that they would do it for free the first year.
Yeah.
And they did. They volunteered the first year, and it was a big leap for them. They were young band directors and stuff, but in the Charlotte area, there'd been some negative things happen with drum corps. So there was a little hesitation for sure in the band community. But these guys listened to us and gave us a shot and agreed to do it for free, and that was a key point for getting the thing started. So now we do have this set of drums. We got the name of the corps. We got this volunteer faculty. Doug finds a set of matching set too.
Yeah.
Not piecemeal, you know, 2 of this type and 1 of that type and what have you. He finds a complete set of bugles. 'Cause
2
we're
valve.
playing bugles nowadays. Out in California. Tell them the story.
Well, it was the California Dons, as I remember. And I forget some of the big shots out on the West Coast. The names escape me right at this moment, but I called around and started checking, and yeah, I have these things, but the rule was you didn't, you know, don't do credit to drum corps because, again, they didn't have a very good track record. So I had to do some fast talking, and we finally agreed on a price. And we give them so much down and then $1,000 a month. We promised. I said, well, you know, I don't know what I said, but I did some fast talking and got them to agree to that. And then the next step was to then get
Van Matthews.
Van Matthews to go
We
out
were
there.
not going to buy it
Yeah, we
sight
weren't doing-
unseen.
yeah,
we
we
already
weren't doing that
learned the
twice.
drums.
Yeah.
And he went out there and he said he picked up every horn, played every single horn to make sure it was okay. And we got them. We were thrilled to death because by and large they were in good shape.
Yep. So now we got drums, we got horns, we got a name, we got faculty. So we're ready to hold an audition. The end of December of '89. And what happens? A big snowstorm comes to Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know, very atypical weather pattern.
Yeah, so at our first audition, we ended up with 9 people. 9 people. Actually, the first person to ever audition for Carolina Crown was a guy by the name of Rod Gornto. Marched with us for several years and also marched a little bit with Star of Indiana, but he was a bassoonist. And actually went on to win what they used to call individual and ensemble at DCI on mellophone. So he turned into a great mellophone player. But yeah, so 9 people showed up for that audition. Not the greatest start, but obviously we had another one a month later or so.
Well,
And started getting some more people in.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, again, you know, make a little checklist. What made us successful, right? And you got dedicated volunteers, talented staff, volunteer staff was, and ambitious members. You had to be pretty ambitious to come out to audition in a snowstorm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that kind of laid the groundwork for what would we consider somebody to be ambitious. That would certainly be one of them.
When DCI voted to go to any key instrument, and of course we're all still playing bugles now, but we were one of the first corps to our board to make the decision, yeah, we're going to do it. Sell the bugles while there's still people out there wanting bugles.
There's still a market for
when
it.
there's still a market
Yeah.
for it, sell the bugles and buy band instruments. That was a key difference, a key thing for the organization right there when the board made that decision. Another one kind of comes back to when Jim Coates arrived here.
That's right.
And we had just come off a good operational year.
Yeah, it was funny.
But the show
2002 was to that point in time was our best year financially, operationally, but it was our worst year
competitively. It was not a good year, and
We got too close to the sun.
yeah we dropped out of top 12,
16th.
and we either the key faculty guys were either leaving or we were letting them leave, kind of thing. And I had asked Jim, who I knew from his days at Crossman and also in the YEA organization, which we had some contact with as well, and asked him if he would come on and help me put together a faculty, because he knew a lot more people than I did in the activity and stuff like that. And so he hesitantly did, and he came on and it was kind of just a consultant role initially, and it grew from there. But one of the things he wanted to do was, and pitched it to the board and all of us, was create a new Carolina Crown, and part of that was uniforms.
Yeah, I knew this was coming up.
Besides the great faculty people he brought in, and the Michael Kleshes and the Matt Harloffs and stuff, but another thing was change the whole look of the Corps, the sound of the Corps, the whole deal. And we had 30,000 or something in this rainy day fund. Wasn't a lot, but it was enough to do these uniforms anyway, or close to it anyway. And the board made another great decision. Yep, let's do it. And it turned out that was the start of the cream years.
Yeah.
And from there, Jim and the faculty he ended up coming on full time as a director of operations, or whatever his first title was. I can't remember anyway.
Was it program director? Maybe?
Yeah, he was kind of the program director and chief operating officer or whatever.
Yeah.
We gave him different titles over the first year or two. And then, of course, it turned into him taking over as a director in 2010. But yeah, I mean, it was another key decision that the board made.
I think about the things that that were most important to me at Crown. Of course, the friends, number one. But when we made top 12 in '95, I marched the drum corps, and we came so close, but we never made top 12. So to me, that was like, what a great achievement. But then in 2013, to actually be the world champion, not discounting the Division II win, but when we made that 2013, that was what a crowning achievement.
Receiving the silver medal with a score of 98.05. 98.05. The Blue Devils. receiving the gold medal and recipient of the Founders Trophy, the 2013 Drum Corps International World Champion with a score of 98.3. 98.3, Carolina Crown.
It was the most exciting time ever when they announced that thing. I think a group of us, where we were sitting, we were all almost berserk, like falling down in the aisle and such, you know.
When Doug talks about that ring, of course, that's a prized possession of mine, but so prized that I only wear it on very special occasions.
If I misplace it, I stop what I'm doing and I find it. If I lose this thing, I'll go berserk.
Crowns meant quite a bit to me and these gentlemen and to you probably if you're watching this, whether you marched with the group or you volunteered, you know, whatever you did, but you were touched by this group in a big way. And it's, you know, I've spent more than half of my life in this group. Not so much for Doug. He's not quite there. But, you know, so obviously I've got very strong feelings about the group. But it only takes probably going on tour once or marching 1 year for you to have that kind of connection with Carolina Crown as well. So what we'd be asking is that you leverage that, and how can you make this group better for the future? You know, I just make that appeal to whoever's watching this. And we've touched a lot of lives out there, thousands of people that have come through the ranks, many thousands of people that are our fans, and the spectators out there, and the people that will recognize a Crown logo. That's still the same logo that we started with from Andy Cruz in, what, 88, 89?
Yeah.
That says a lot itself. But that's, you know, I mean, we're at the tail end of this now. You know, I stepped off the board, and so did these guys. You know, we're emeritus status, but the reality is we want the younger people to come and take the reins of this, and they have. And we've attracted a lot of great talent. Again, the sound management part of this is still very much in place, even though we've kind of moved on, and it's kind of fun to sit here and do this and remember some of this stuff. But you know, you're creating memories for others, whatever that looks like, and you're connected to the organization. So how can you pay it forward?
The thing that gives me hope, and I know Charles Wilkerson, our president, feels the same way, that the new alumni group that's getting put together, we tried to put together an alumni group 4 or 5 times over the years, and we were still a pretty young organization, so it was tough to get people going, but we really see some good things coming out. This telethon that we're doing right now is part of that. There's and I know a lot of the alums have jumped on board to help with this project and help raise money for Crown, and it's really something that makes us all feel good, because the people who marched are coming together and supporting us going forward.
That's what it takes.
Yep.
It takes that the alumni, the people that have been touched most closely by this. And if you're sitting here watching this, you know who you are. And it might not even be the fact that you march with the group, but there are many people that work the food truck or, you know, quartermaster or whatever you want to call it, that have a really tight connection to the group. It's amazing. But certainly the people that march that actually got to perform in a Crown uniform. Man, don't you want that to keep going? So you can have your kids come and march with Crown someday, right? I mean, wouldn't that be nice?